Hi, good afternoon. Once a week, I'm always going to go into something a little bit deeper, a little bit more. That goes, it gets a bit risky. So this week, I'm talking about young, young talent that just piss it up the wall, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, okay, it does bother me. Okay, because when I was younger, I had support from my family, from my first employer in City Cycle Centre in Ely, and they helped me as much as they could. But the equipment in which I rode on was the best. It wasn't always the best, but it worked. But what I did do is train my butt off because I wanted to win. And you can tell by eyes, I've got crazy eyes. Always wanting to win. Always wanting to win. So I trained hard because I wanted to be the best. I would be out there in all weathers. And back in 96, 94, 95, 96, there wasn't many cyclists around. And, you was out there on your own. And you flicked through some magazines, you saw some training tips here, there. You looked at what the pros did, and then I was a bit sort of naive to what went on, so I copied what the pros did. Some things worked, some things didn't, some things burnt me out. But going back to the talent that I see today, that get given too much too soon, and totally disrespect it. And if I was a sponsor and I was to give a third cat or even a fourth cat funding, I would have a word with myself. I would think, well, wait a minute, these lads have a lot more to prove. Cycle racing is made up of elite first, second, third, or fourth cat. If you give a fourth cat something, it doesn't make him work that hard to become a third cat. You give a third cat a bike and a power meter and some money, and he's not really going to be that bothered about being a second cat. I believe, if you're a sponsor and you want to help young talent, they have got to become a second cat before they start getting maybe financial help a little bit if they're young and they're a third cat or a junior. But they need financial equipment, advice, proper training advice. Certainly when they're over 18, 17, 18. Should start to be happening when they're around about the second cat level, to help them back up into first cat, because when the transition from junior to first year senior is where they need support. That is where they need people to give them advice, give them support, give them fuel money to get them to races. And when I see sponsors giving this to talent, and the talent just goes, fuck, can't be bothered. Can't be asked to ride my bike today. I'm going to go out on a piss with the lads. And it's kind of like, fucking hell, man. If I had that, I'd be putting the fuel in the tank and I'd be getting to the races and trying to do the best I could. I used to travel all over the place when I was a kid, just to race. I raced far too much and trained far too much, but I still went to all the races and still did all I could. And coming back now, if you want to be a successful young bike rider, I would say the following. Get yourself someone you can relate to, someone that's been there, that's done it, someone that can give it to you as it is, but can explain it in a way that you both understand. A mate as such. A coach sometimes can be too... Sometimes a coach is needed for the right type of talent. Other talent is uncoachable because they just don't listen. They'll be like, you tell them it's out in one ear and out the other, and they're just like, oh yeah, what the fuck does this guy know? He knows nothing. Yeah, he might have raced, but yeah, what the fuck does he know? I know more. So these people need to be. I don't know, maybe they are uncoachable, but there are some people like that have such a talent. You just got to grab them and say, look, just try this for 2 months and see what happens, and you know, it'd be really cool to get that talent that didn't listen to achieve. And then there's other guys that have a coach. They listen, they absorb they respond to the training methods well, and they go on to prosper. But going back to the funding and everything, you know, I would say till you're a second cat, you don't deserve any more than than a jersey, some kit, some fuel funding. You buy your bike at trade, and then you got to prove yourself. And then when you start winning races, and then you start getting noticed by teams, that's when you start moving up. Okay, but don't give fourth cats, third cats any decent sponsorship deals, because it doesn't give them the will to succeed, the drive. You know, to win a race, you've got to harden up, and you've got to really want it. Okay, so that's my little rant. You know, it's because I'm seeing a lot of it now. I'm seeing a lot of these young lads that get given too much too soon. Gives them big heads, big egos, but they're packed too soon. You know, it's they need someone there that's going to support them through their going out and getting pissed years, and that's a hard few years. You know, you get your 18, 19, 20, your mates are going out, you need to go racing. You know, you need a little bit of guidance through that. So a few words, you know, there's a few little snippets of advice in there for young lads. Sort of a bit hicklety-picklety, I know, but I just thought, you know, if there's some talent out there and you want to go far, train wisely, okay? Save your pennies. Race. Don't just race local NCRAs or local handicap races. Go and do a race. Go and do some proper racing. Get involved with the E12s. Get involved and go and get hardened up to what proper racing's like. So, you know, there you go. There's a few little tips. Most of you go, yeah, you don't know nothing. Some of you might listen. Take this on board and then go and prosper. Okay, that's the subject for today. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Bye bye.